Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network, and today I think we need to talk about Super Mario Sunshine, the red-headed stepchild of the 3D Mario games, as many people would put it. The game that is famous for many of its levels and even how to achieve some of the shine sprites. The game that haunts the nightmares of many YouTubers. The game that...
Alright, I get it!
Well, the game is pretty famous as you get it. And with the release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, a whole new generation of gamers are experiencing Sunshine along with Galaxy and 64. But Sunshine is the game that really hasn't been re-released in any fashion. Now, Galaxy hasn't either, but it is a lot newer. But it seems like many people are just ready to rip Sunshine to shreds. Honestly, I was close to putting a bunch of thumbnails and posts about people bashing Sunshine at this point, but I didn't want to be that guy that calls other people out. Look, if you have an opinion on Sunshine, positive or negative, that's honestly fine. We are all allowed to have our own opinions, but it's about presenting your opinions in a civilized manner. The issue though, many people online don't, especially with Sunshine. Sunshine gets raked over the coals, sometimes mercilessly. So I want to take Sunshine and turn it to defense mode. So let's get something out of the way first though. I'm not one who grew up on Sunshine as a young child, and I'm not blinded by 100% nostalgia. I do have nostalgia, and yes, that does fuel some of my defense for the game, but it is not the only thing. Truth be told, I'm getting rather sick of companies and people using nostalgia as a way to get people to buy things, and this is a rant for another time. I'm looking at you, Pokemon Company. You got more than just the first generation, you know that, right? But I digress. I was a young teen when Sunshine hit the GameCube, so I had fond memories, yes. But it was also a time when I had to defend the GameCube and Nintendo hard. Many might not remember, or likely weren't even alive during that time period, but during that era, the GameCube was looked down upon, called a baby system as it wasn't as powerful as the other systems of the time, and the games were too kiddie. Halo was for real gamers. God, I hate that term, real gamers. Look, I'm not bashing Halo. In fact, I really love Halo. It's one of the few FPSs that I really do enjoy. My beef comes from the narrow-minded people. Yes, some games on the GameCube era looked, on the surface, kiddie. Sunshine and Wind Waker are the top examples of that. But that is the word, surface. Wind Waker is my favorite Legend of Zelda game to date. But people have come around to that game in the past years, seeing how good it is. Except for the Triforce Peace Fetch Quest, that can honestly die in a dumpster fire. I think I've been saying that a lot lately. But back on topic with Sunshine, I do want to be fair. It has its fair share of problems. It can be a glitchy mess at times. It has some of the most frustrating levels in a Mario game. I mean, whose idea was it to have a giant pachinko machine on a mission? Side note, who thought any child in the West would know what the hell that was? And the thing is, as frustrating as these missions in particular are, and you know all of them, beyond the pachinko machine, I don't feel many are too unfair. I see them more as challenging than unfair. But I understand how people can see that. The Chuckster level, which is a frustrating level, yes, I don't find that bad. No, it's not like I lucked out every time I play it. It can get frustrating. I do die quite a bit. But there is an extra life right at the start, and really it is more about trial and error. Providing the extra life, as long as you grab it, means you can keep trying until you got it. Yes, an annoying camera angle can cause issues, but patience is a big part of the level. Sitting and waiting, thinking out a strategy is not something that Mario games are known for, so it was basically a culture shock for many Mario gamers. I mean, outside the RPGs, but we're talking mainline 3D games here. In Mario 64, rarely were there times when you had to stop, calculate, and see what needed to be done, and then execute it. These moments mostly came late game in 64, like Tick-Tock Clock and Rainbow Cruise, which, honestly, you could completely skip and still beat the game. In Galaxy, again, rarely does that happen. But that game in particular is pretty straightforward and linear with its stars. Keep moving forward and you'll eventually get to the end. Not a bad thing, very Mario-like. But Sunshine was different. Oh sure, there was plenty of shine sprites where it was run, jump, and then you got your shine. But there are a few that require that stop and think mentality. Another level that is infamous is the Sandbird, which admittedly is a hard level, but there is a solid pattern for it. It will always fly to its side at the same spot. There's no variables that change beyond you, the player, as Mario, picking up the patterns, the timing, and trying not to hover off. I'm not saying mastering it is easy by any means. It's difficult, and the blue coins and extra lives are distractions to throw you off quite literally, but it doesn't make it unfair. It makes it a challenge, and honestly, what's wrong with that? As mentioned before, the Pachinko machine level, and one more I will say, is honestly 100% unfair. Before Pachinko, let's talk about the lily pad level. But what makes it unfair and a black mark on the game is not only the difficulty of the challenge, but mostly the timely process to get to the mission. From start to finish, you must go see what the Yoshi egg wants, run to the market to grab the fruit, run back to Yoshi and hatch it, run to the gondola, or use the sewer system to go to the island on the coast, wait for the other gondola, make sure you're eating fruit for Yoshi to stay alive, make sure the midpoint structure, wait for another gondola to get you to the island, and spray the warp pipe with Yoshi's juices, and then you get it. This process takes a very long time. And there's a 1-up mushroom on the island, and then one in the stage itself. But the stage one is stupidly difficult to get consistently. I praise this Chuckster level for making it easily available, which makes the experience a lot more fair in my book. The problem is, when you get a game over because the water is poisonous, whatever, well, you have to go through that process all over again. Because the barrier that the Yoshi juices took out respawns after you do it. So you get a game over and you have to do it again. Ugh. It really does seem like difficulty is what people mostly complain about Sunshine. Well, they call it unfair, but in reality it is a harder Mario game, which isn't a bad thing. After getting nearly 120 stars in Galaxy, and don't get me wrong, I love Galaxy, except for maybe a few exceptions, I found it easy, and upon my recent revisit with 3D All-Stars, a few times I was getting a bit bored or it was on autopilot just playing. Yes, there are quite a few that are not, but the open sandboxy nature of 64 and Sunshine are long gone. It does allow for more focus, which is a huge strength on Galaxy. But for myself, I do prefer discovering new areas, finding different stars in new ways. Heck, one strength 64 has was finding stars that weren't even the star you were looking for. That was always a ton of fun. It was really a sense of discovery. Sunshine has a lot less of that, but still the exploration was there. On Bianca Hills, it was fun to just run around, discovering the nooks and crannies and even looking around for the blue coins, which on paper I still think was a decent idea. It does encourage the exploration, which I love, and Sunshine's exploration is really one of its strongest suits. Now, they could have cut it in half, or by a quarter for goodness sakes, and it would have been a lot better though. Some levels are less focused on that exploration. Serena Beach is one, and even there's some in the attic of the actual hotel. Not the best example in the game, but still there. But for myself, that is a huge selling point for a new 3D Mario game. Each open 3D Mario game has a magic about them when you first play them. You never really know what to expect, what will be around the next corner, what will happen next on your journey. It's exhilarating. And a rarity anymore, it feels. You know those questions, what game would you relive from the start without any memory of it? Well, Mario games are up there on my list for most of the reasons I just listed, and at times Sunshine even takes that. Let's move on to some comparisons to Odyssey here. I do know the areas are much smaller than they are in Odyssey, but I still think Sunshine's stages stand out a little bit more. Rico Harbor is a fun level full of mini vertical platforms, making traversing around a ton of fun. Noki Bay is a peaceful paradise that is fun and enjoyable to visit every time. Pinna Park, although I do wish had more, showcased a small amusement park full of fun. And some real, danger issues with that swinging pirate ship. I think they probably got sued a few times. But one of the best parts of all the levels, they were all on Isle Delfino. The world was fully connected. Although I don't know how opening a portal on the side of a statue to transport you to Bianca Hills makes sense, but I digress. You can go to different stages and see other stages from them. It is such a cool thing, but it really showcased that this is one island altogether, and I always loved that. Plus, looking around and seeing an unknown location in the distance of your future level was a treat. It's not crucial and it doesn't absolutely need to be there, but man, it gives a more cohesive adventure in my book. Let's not forget the soundtrack of this game. From Amazing Delfino Plaza, Rico Harbor, and really there isn't many bad tracks in this game. The secret level music is a great throwback to the classic Mario music, and each fits well into the level and immerses you into the world you're in, which honestly is not just a Mario trait, but a Nintendo trait. I mean, there is a reason there's been multiple tours for the Legend of Zelda concert, and heck, even Mario got one in Japan. Just need to get more of those going. Can you imagine how sold out things would be if there was a Smash Brothers concert going across the country? Look, I can see why people don't like Sunshine. It's very different, and that's honestly taking Flood out of the equation, and he adds a lot more chaos to it all, but I really love it. A lot of new ideas are thrown at you, along with voice acting, which was not a good choice, but also being on the GameCube was a bit of a perfect storm to put a bit of a dark cloud around this game. A cloud that I don't think it fully deserves. Again, the game is not perfect, but has a lot more going for it than people give it credit for. But it's an easy punching bag for people. Just like Sonic has Sonic 06, and Sonic Lost Worlds, and Sonic Forces, and Sonic Dark Brotherhood. And I dug that joke into the ground, didn't I? But Sunshine deserves another look, from another angle from Mini, and I hope that it gets a bit more help while it's in defense mode. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network. What are your thoughts on Super Mario Sunshine in general? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, join the Discord, and consider helping us on Patreon. As always, this is the Nintendo Network, signing off.